Good evening. My name is Elise Roper. I am in for our normal host, Rhonda McGowan. We are here for the Cosmopolitan Chamber of Commerce. I cannot speak tonight.
That's okay.
We welcome you this evening. We are a African American Chamber of Commerce and have been around since 1933. I believe we're the second oldest African American Chamber of Commerce in the country. So we welcome you. This evening I am happy to have as my guest Mr. Mathew Cooper, who is the president of Inner City Underwriting Agency. So welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Matt is Inner City Underwriting is a technical assistant agency. Well, I was going to say you're a contractor with the Illinois Tollway.
Right.
And so this evening we're going to talk about the TA program with the Illinois Tollway, how it has impacted the minority contractors in the area. And first of all, let's talk about Inner City Underwriting. How long have you been in business?
Okay. Well, the full name of the company is Community Insurance Center, a division of Inner City Underwriting Agency.
Okay.
And we had the pleasure, a few years ago, about 2015, when we did the acquisition of Community Insurance Center, to have the former owner of the company come and talk about the history of the company. The Community Insurance Center was founded by Ralph Metcalf, who was a congressman, a world-class gold medal Olympian. He ran in the Berlin Olympics with Jesse Owens, and from there, after winning the gold medal in Berlin, he came back to Chicago, got involved in a number of business ventures, started Community Insurance Center, and then from there was elected to Congress. When he got elected to Congress, he sold the agency to Milton Moses, who I purchased it from. So the agency itself has a lot of history.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
So,
and we're excited about being part of that history.
Good. So tell us how Inner City Underwriting got involved with the Illinois Tollway Assistance Program.
That's a good question. Inner City Underwriting Agency itself and Community Insurance Center, our operating division, we've been involved in working with construction companies for a number of years. The background on our company is that we try to identify areas or markets that the insurance industries are not properly or adequately serving. And then what we do as a firm is we look for ways in which we can solve difficult problems. The company started a long time ago when there was issues of redlining, and we put together a plan that helped a lot of insurance companies improve their ability to sell their insurance in the urban marketplace. From there, we went to other issues. The issue that we've been working on for the last 10 years is the fact that small construction companies who want to be able to participate in all this construction that's going on. I mean, if you drive through Chicago, it's virtually no street in the city, no area where there's some sort of construction going on. Where that construction involves public sector dollars, you are required to provide what's called a performance bond. And a performance bond is basically a financial guarantee to that you will be able to do the work as you indicate you will in your bid. A lot of including minority, women-owned, DBE-owned firms have difficulty getting those bonds. We developed a program called the Small Contractor Bridge Program about 5 years ago that helped a lot of those companies overcome those hurdles and obtain the bonds that they needed so they could participate in construction. From the work that we've done in that area, the Illinois Tollway kind of recognized that we're really strong in that area. They wanted to support that effort and help contractors throughout the region grow in order to be able to acquire or do business with the tollway. And so we were contracted by the tollway to essentially provide technical assistance to help small contractors who are not quite yet ready to work with the tollway to help them find ways to grow, and then ultimately be able to do contracts with the tollway.
So is there a specific type of contractor, or what are the specifications that you're looking for who would be a good contractor to be part of this program?
Well, contractors that want to do commercial work.
Okay.
Right now, we have a lot of contractors in our community that primarily do residential work, but we work primarily with commercial contractors who've got a commitment to grow their company. They may not be able to work on a tollway project, but we'll work with them to do a CHA program. Okay. We work with a number of contractors doing the CHA job program.
So with this contract, what are the different elements of the technical assistance that you give to the contractors?
Okay. One of the things I have to point out is that there are a number of other technical assist agencies around they're doing a great job, and they provide a lot of good sort of services. There are, depending on what a contractor needs, there's essentially a technical assist agency or organization that's there to provide it. So we have some technical assist agencies that provide classroom activity for contractors on different areas, and then we have some that provide one-on-one coaching. We focus on the area of one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
And so what we do is we do an assessment of a contractor. We determine what they need to take them to the next level, and then we try to provide that support to them. So, for example, if they're, one of the programs we have is if they're lacking the financial paperwork, we've worked with them to help them get all their paperwork organized, get a good set of financials set up so that they can present them to the bank and to the surety companies to qualify for loans and qualify for surety bonds.
What are some of the qualifications needed for the surety bond? I mean, because it seems that's a big hurdle that a lot of contractors have to kind of overcome in order to be able to do municipal jobs. So what are some of the what is the underwriting looking for?
Well, I mean, and that's a good point that you bring up. One of the things we did not too long ago is we actually brought in a surety bond underwriter into our office. And we had to meet one-on-one with a number of contractors that we're working with in the program so that he could communicate to them exactly what is required. You got to remember, a surety bond is a guarantee. So when a client or when the city of Chicago, the Illinois Tollway, Chicago Housing Authority, when any of them come up to you and ask, they want you to get a bond. What they want is they want somebody who will provide a guarantee that you will be able to do the work that you say you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Just like it's analogous to when you get your first car loan and the bank says you need somebody to guarantee, co-sign for that car loan, right?
Right.
Essentially, our job is to go out and find a multi-billion-dollar insurance company to co-sign for your ability to do the work. Because if you don't do the work, then they look to that surety company to finish the job. And so, as you would expect, the underwriting criteria is going to be strict. And what they look at is they look at your financials, they look at your track record for doing the work, and they look at a lot of other things. What we do is we try to evaluate the contractor on their ability to get the work done. Our first and foremost criteria is, do you have experience doing the jobs, doing the trade that you say you're going to do? So, for example, if you were an accountant last week, and you decide you want to be
a roofer this week,
and you want to work. That's not going to work.
I can't do that, huh?
You can't do that. Just want to share that with you.
Okay, well, sorry anybody out there.
Just in case. So if you're an accountant, but now if you are a roofer and you've been doing roofing for a number of years, or you were a foreman at a company and you decided that you want to go out and start your own company, and we're confident about your ability to actually get the work done, then you've crossed over a big hurdle in terms of our underwriting. Now, normal underwriting, that's going to be a hurdle, but the financials are going to be a really big criteria for you to overcome. Again, the reason why financials are so strong is because in the event you don't do the work or you fail, the surety's going to look to you to make good on that bond. And so they're going to evaluate your financial capability of doing the work. And so we look at your financials, and then we try to come up with a game plan for how you get the project done. And we look at the project, we work with the owner, we provide, we look at your bid. We do a lot of things that normal surety underwriters will not do, just so that we can give you the best chance of getting the bond. And so when we work with a contractor, particularly under the tollway program, because our job is not to see whether you qualify or not, to see what you need to qualify, and then help you get what you need so that you can qualify.
Do you have some examples of, let's talk about your success stories as being a technical assistant for the Illinois Tollway? Are there some contractors that you might be able to tell us about that have benefited from Inner City Underwriting's program?
Well, I can't share names right because everything's confidential.
Yeah.
But there are a number of contractors who've come to us. We've had contractors come to us that needed a bond, but while we say we don't rely on the financial underwriting, you do have to have the paperwork. You have to be able to produce a balance sheet, an income statement. You have to show us that you got your taxes done, and you have to provide this information in a format that is coherent to the surety underwriter when you do it. And so we have a process that we've worked with contractors where they come to us, they don't quite have the financials in order. And so we work with a CPA that's on our team. We help them organize their financials and get it, and she will take care of doing the presentation of those financials in a way that makes sense. Interesting enough, what we found out is that a lot of contractors, there's a impression that contractors are just in bad financial shape. What we find is that there are a number of contractors who are not, they're not rolling in dough, but they're profitable, but they don't have a way to show that so that banks and surety companies can understand it. And so we work with them to how they organize it. And then again, a lot of times guys have CPAs or they have people doing their books who are not familiar with how to present that information in a way that banks like to see it or surety companies like to see it. And so that's one of the strong things of our TA piece that we do.
Okay.
Another area that we're strong on too is that when you're doing the bid, a lot of contractors have some difficulties making sure they cover all the aspects of the bid. They don't factor in the insurance costs, they don't factor in the cost of the bond, they don't factor in some other things. And so we have in our program what's called contract oversight. So we have a gentleman who will review your bid. Now, we don't help you do your bid, we don't comment on whether your bid is right or wrong. We review it, and basically in the course of our review, we'll tell you we think it's too low, and we don't think it's whatever, but we're not going to tell you how to do it.
Right.
But in the course of doing it, now after the bid is done or after the project has been submitted, we'll kind of go through and work with you through the numbers and kind of do some, some question and answers at that point in time to see what went wrong with your bid. We've had that has been great. We've had a situation where we supported a number of contractors on a particular bid. The contractor who won that bid came back and provided a detailed analysis of his bid for the other contractors in the room. Now, it looked like them helping his competitors, but it's one of those situations. We're trying to provide a collaborative situation. And I think that's the key that we're trying to do in our program.
And the benefit of having the construction oversight was the reason that contractor was able to get that.
Yeah.
So if he had not been in your program or in a client of Inner City,
It was a tollway. It was a tollway client. He wouldn't have been able to receive that extra assistance that he gets. Right. We've always been providing the service, but what the contract with the tollway has provided, given us the ability to do things for clients that we could never do before. Okay. It's like all that work of helping somebody put that together. In the past we've had guys come to us and bring a shoebox full of receipts and everything like that. I said, you need financials. They come bring it.
Right.
Can't do that.
Because you'd have to charge them.
Right. And we
Yeah.
and so what we're doing now is we're saying, okay, here's what you need, and here's a member of our team that will help you get it done. Here's what you need in here. You have a problem. You need a certification. We have a member in our team that work with you to get your certification. Because there are all kinds of certifications
Right.
you need right now. You know, you need your MBE, your DBE, your WBE. If you're a woman, you need a BEP. There's a lot of P's that you need. Okay, but we have somebody. We have a group. Can Do is the firm that we work with in our program, and I think she was on last week talking about what she does with certifications. So, and they do a great job of taking them clients in the tollway program from no certification to helping them organize all their paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that you need to get a certification.
Yeah.
And then from that, we can also help you, because a lot of that paperwork you need for certification is the same paperwork you need in order to get a bond. And so a lot of that work then comes, and we try to reduce the amount of paperwork that you do.
Okay. So moving forward with the tollway, what are some of the future projects or future
Great question. Future projects.
future projects with the tollway that some people out here might be interested in getting involved with?
I encourage you to go to the tollway's website. You can find it by just looking up you can go to Google or any of the search engines and find the Illinois Tollway. And then there's a section on the site called Doing Business with the Tollway. They are working to do, we're working with them to try to break contracts down, get smaller contracts so more contractors can compete on it. Our job, though, again, small contractors more than likely will not be in a position to do work with the tollway, because the tollway is the highways. It's heavy
Right.
highway construction, and there's a lot. So, what I really like about the tollway is that it recognizes that it can't, it has to grow contractors so that they can compete with them. And in the long run, that's a really good public service, because they're growing more competition for their business. And the more contractors they're going to be competing for tollway work, the lower the cost of what they bring. And so as a long-term strategy for a public entity, a government agency to have that kind of long view of what they should be doing. One, they realize that they've got to be a good member of the community. They've got to be active in the community. But this is a really good thing for them to do. And so, we're excited about working with them on this. And we think what they're going to do, the long-term benefits, economic benefits, and public good that they'll do over the years for this project is enormous.
Well, it's very good to see a municipality really trying to promote diversity and try to promote inclusion in an area that typically you will not see minorities involved in. Just because, like you said, with the cost of first of all, being able to do these projects that are tens of millions of dollars typically. And so I applaud the Illinois Tollway for
they're doing a
taking
great
the
job.
initiative, providing this TA assistance for the communities out there. And we encourage, if you are interested in getting involved, to contact Inner City Underwriting Agency, and we will be happy to help you get started on the road to becoming
a contractor with the if not with the tollway, but help you get your stuff together, and so that you can grow into the situation. So we work with contractors that are we call it level 1 and level 2.
Okay,
And
so level 1 would be
the contractors that are young, small, but trying to get established. And so we provide a lot of assistance to those contractors. And then we got level 2, it's a little bit more established. They're almost ready to be in a position to bid with the tollway. And so that's what those are contractors that we work with.
And speaking of helping our contractors, tomorrow at Inner City Underwriting,
Right.
we are initiating a diverse contractors admin circle. And the purpose of that is really to help our contractors' administrative staff become knowledgeable and effective in running their businesses. A lot of times, the contractor is trying to do the business and run the business.
Yes.
And it doesn't work out too well. And so we have found that when you have an effective administrative staff, then the contractor can focus on building the business versus working the business.
Right.
And so we would like to invite you to
Right.
the circle tomorrow.
Right. And when we say we invite you, what we're looking for are the people who do the paperwork in the construction firm. We're looking, because most contractors we work with usually has one or two admin people who are doing the paperwork. And what we're trying to do is get them together and do a collaborative type of situation. One of the things we're focusing on is collaboration. What needs to happen is there needs to be sharing of information within the contractor community that we serve, so that best practices are identified, shared, and then people can learn together.
Right.
And we find that environment creates the best environment. So, and actually, Ms. Elise Roper is leading that for us starting tomorrow. And it's a program that I'm excited about. We were talking earlier, I compare it to football, basically, where, in construction, you got the guys out in the field doing the work and producing basically, they're the offense. And the people in the admin are the defense. They gotta keep it. And if you don't have both, if they're not both working together, then you're not going to have success.
Right.
And we find that a lot of companies can fall short on the admin side. And if you're not on top of your paperwork, and construction, unfortunately, a lot of guys love to build, but they hate the paperwork.
Yeah, and it's a different animal. And if you don't have someone that really understands how the animal works, you're in a lot of trouble. So tomorrow at between 10:30 and 12 at our office,
1631 South Michigan Avenue.
We invite you to have your admin, anybody who does any type of administrative work for you, please have them come. This is our first meeting, and we're excited about it. Again,
Right.
Like Matt said, our goal is to help our contractors go to the next level. When they succeed, we succeed.
That's true. Very true. That's
And
true.
so I have been working with Matt, and he is very committed to helping the contractors get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
But the only way they're going to do that really is if we're all working together.
Right. And we have a strong team. I mean, I feel fortunate that we have a really strong team that can provide services in a lot of different areas for contractors. But this piece is a piece that, Lisa will tell you, I've been really strongly encouraging that we get this off the ground and moving, because it's not only about the admin, but what's the best technology that contractors should be using, getting the admin people familiar with the technology, setting up a way in which people can share. We will, the meetings will be in the office, but they'll be over the internet, so
Right.
you don't, you won't have to come to the meeting, but you can participate from wherever you are. So it is, it's going to be great, and so we look forward to it, to starting that tomorrow. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Any final words you want to say about the tollway?
No, I just enjoy being here. Enjoy being part of the
Thank you.
chamber. It's a great organization.
Thank you. Well, we're happy to be affiliated with Inner City Underwriting, and we wish all of you a happy holidays as we get ready to close out 2018. We're thankful for this opportunity to bring this information. Hopefully, those of you who have been watching us week after week have gained something from it, and we will continue to try to strive to do what we can to help increase the minority businesses in the community.
There would be small, including minority, women-owned, and DBE and veteran-owned companies.
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.